Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man giving you the truth. This is the Isaiah 4 and 1 series. The Isaiah 4 and 1 series for you delusional women and for you goofy dudes who take up for them. Isaiah 4 and 1 series symbolically and literally has and will come to pass. For those of you who don't know, history often repeats itself. History very often repeats itself. Isaiah 4 and 1 says this: in that day, 7 women will take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food, wear our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our disgrace. And the disgrace is many things. It's OnlyFans. It's pander bearers. It's Instagram. It's Twitter. It's the Me Too movement. When the women are not telling the truth. When they are, hey man, you don't force women to do stuff, man. When they telling the truth, I'm not taking up for you. I'm taking up for the guys that's been lied on. The delusion, the schizophrenia that some of these women might have unknowingly. Hallucinate, creating things in their mind that never happened. You know, we're talking about delusional women today. And for all of you women who are like this, what we talk about in the manosphere, in the red pill space, before you start arguing, I got a couple questions. What's that body count? And no, it don't got nothing to do with physically. I heard a girl say, you bad in bed. No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't brag on myself. But this isn't what this is about. This is about what a guy could lose. This is about what a guy could put up at stake trying to turn a 304 into a housewife. Because the 304, for those of you who don't know, is a hoe. Y'all get it now? Okay. So what's that body count? So before you get into these spaces with your pander bears, and when I start bringing smoke and cooking some of these panda bear, before you even open your mouth, I want you to be honest and say your body count. I want to know your body count. Before you say anything else, that's what we want to know. And then the next thing I want to know is, have you ever divorced a man and why? Don't lie. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Hopefully you ain't the devil. But we need to know these things so we can set the ground rules. See? And no, it doesn't work the same for a man as it does a woman. My wing ding didn't get no smaller or bigger from it definitely didn't get smaller. We'll just say that. From women who I encountered during my lifetime. But you, on the other hand, amateur POR fill in the blank star, you get stretched. You lose inner tissues. You reshape your fallopian tubes. And the organs that are in close proximity to your entrance. You can't say that happens for a man, and therefore these are the reasons why you're delusional, and that's what we're talking about. This is the delusion of women will lead to polygyny. Because guys are waking up every day and they're saying that monogamy is for dumb dudes. That smart guys are either going to remain single or they're going to have multiple women. And when those women don't fit the bill no more, you just get rid of them. You don't put up with all that excess stuff that ruin your life, ruin your finances, ruin your freedom. Some of you will end up literally in prison. Because these women, some of these women will be like, don't you hate him? Okay, let's just say he did such and such. And of course, a lot of judges gonna side with women whether they telling the truth or not. Hashtag believe all women. We all know how deep those lies can go. Amber Heard taught us that. I mean, Jada Pinkett teach us that, now we call it entanglement. We don't call it being a 304. We don't call it cheating on your husband, disrespecting your husband. We call it entanglement. So they're redefining everything basically because the Most High has sat on his throne and did like, I'm gonna get you eventually. Because he's not getting people instantly, people have gotten besides themselves. Like literally, like to the point where a lot of them it's just practically unbearable dealing with some of them. That's part of the Great Resignation as well. I mean, listen, man. So, out of all the monsters that you work with at jobs, imagine the dude that's in a monogamous relationship with some of these. Because you already know they're going to tone it down at work. They're going to be even worser at home than they are at work. That's common sense. So imagine the guy that has to deal with this. I'm watching Speed Racer back here. Road rage is common in Milwaukee, and I don't condone it. But people be doing some dumb stuff to tear up people's cars. And some people just can't handle it. What do you know? Like I saw some long hair in there going 60 miles an hour down a 40 mile per hour residential. But if she crashed, it's the other person's fault though. If she would have hit me, I guess it would have been my fault. But #believe all women. The delusion is going to lead many to polygyny, many to remaining single. And they messing y'all unicorns up. Those of y'all that's not like this, the ones that are, is making it bad for you. Kind of like in the same sense how I just had a delivery to a very big, something in my eyes, to a very big nursing home. And when I got to the person's door, it was a little old lady. She was acting frightened. Like she was scared, senseless, talking about she's gonna complain. Like it's obvious that, let's be honest, racism does exist. And a lot of the people that are racist are older. So I can imagine kind of what people probably dealt with in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's why a lot of our grandparents, like the older generation, that's why they act like that towards white people, because they had to do that to survive. They had to do that to keep jobs. Man, y'all gotta excuse me. Probably got one of these wild hairs in my eyes, but yeah. The delusion. So I had a conversation with my son about a girl that likes him. And it's like he has some wisdom. He says, we talking about it, he says she has an OnlyFans. And kind of had a smirk on his face to basically telling me that I ain't dealing with her. She got an OnlyFans. Now, he's only in his early 20s. So, how does he know this, but some of you guys in your 40s, 30s, 50s, even 60s don't know this? That if she has an OnlyFans, then she is basically not the one for you. You say, well, I don't care. Okay, man. Hey, Listen, it's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do. It's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do. But guess what, man? There's a very real thing called prison. And there's another real thing called God's judgment. And there's many other real things that, even though you can do whatever you want, you probably want to think a little more than you do. So, the delusion is what is creating all the divorce. Now, let me say this about the divorce rate. The stat is 80% of women file for divorce. You know why? Because those men, they probably want to, but they have a lot to lose in some cases. They want to raise their kids in other cases. It's not because these guys are so bad in every case, or because they do so much to make these women want to divorce. A lot of these dudes, they probably want to divorce their wife, but they don't, for whatever their reasons may be, they don't do it. But then you have the other 20% of guys that be like, F it, or forget it, or however you want to say it, or however they say it. And they be like, I'm not finna keep dealing with this denying sex while requiring me to be faithful. And he got to see all these beautiful women out here and not touch them, but you don't touch them. No, that's too much for a lot of guys. That's too much. Listen, man, there's plenty guys that if they're honest, they'll say, yeah, I really don't want to be with her. I mean, she's sleeping in another room. Now, snoring, that's not a reason to sleep in another room. But if it's better than you having a bad relationship, so you sleep in another room. I mean, just because people, and then y'all women need to start asking this question. Okay, if a guy is good, right, and he has one wife, and his wife is not really his wife per se, you need to figure out, is this somebody that you need to be rejecting? Because it's not that I wouldn't advise you to just deal with a man without his wife knowing. But y'all pass up. So let's this place, y'all know I like the numbers. Let's do a fictional scenario, which might be true. Let's say you have 20 guys. Say you got 20 guys, right? 20 guys that are married on paper. They're good guys. They're married to women. Unfortunately, they married some women with high body counts that messed up their mind mentally. Because that's what body counts. That's the number one reason why body counts matter. It's not physical. It's not physical. Because if you could put it down, you could put it down on something loose too. But it's the mental ramifications that come along with a woman having a high body count. So let's say you have 15 dudes that married women with high body counts. It didn't work out. A lot of the women cheated. A lot of the women start trying to manipulate them with sex, and they got tired of sex because they did too much in their past. And by the way, if y'all haven't watched any of my other videos, body count consists of everything she did. Every man that touched her in those private places, that's all body count. Every man that she touched, that's all body count. Every porn that she watched. Because see, women's minds work different than men. That's all body count. Every time she dry humped, that's body count. That's all body count. Every time she touched herself thinking about guys, that's all body count. Because here's what. It's not like she's going to forget those things. Those things create the future delusion that we see on a regular, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and all these other platforms. All of these things have contributed to the delusion that we see. And we know, and I can tell you firsthand from working in corrections, when you work with women sometimes, it's like it's not a team thing, it becomes a competition thing. So now it's basically, let me make it seem like I'm better at this job than him. And that's what pander bears do. That's what women do. Instead of, we're a team, we're partners, we're working together, we're doing the same job, let's help each other do the job better. No, that's not how it works. It becomes a competition thing because that's what they feel they have to do to survive. And that's what women do in marriage and relationships. They start scaling back sex. They start talking about who was looking at them, who liked them. And let me say this to you guys. Don't you ever in your life confront a dude because he looked at your girl. Come on now, man. Come on, man. And on the flip side, don't be disrespecting that man in front of his girl. We got to get our behavior straight now. Y'all acting like some little snakes, some little devils. We humans, we supposed to be top of the food chain. We supposed to be representatives of the Most High God who created us. You trying to fight some dude for looking at your girl, or you disrespecting some dude about his girl. Y'all equally bad. Y'all creating the delusion. And then don't think these women don't be watching these videos, because what's his name, Lil Durk? It's proven that Little Durk's girl has been watching Coach Greg Adams. How can I prove this? Because the whole free agent thing in terms of dating, that's his creation. You got to give a person credit where credit is due. I'm not going to promote nobody's channels that don't promote mine, but I believe in giving credit where credit is due. And she's watching his videos, obviously. Because she comes out, she breaks up with Little Durk and says, I'm a free agent now. Now, we finna find out if Little Durk is a simp or not. When she breaks up with you, you're supposed to move on. You're supposed to move on. You don't try to get her back. Just move on. When you break up with her, move on. Move on. Now, in some cases, some situations which are rare, where guys break up with girls for trivial reasons. We're not talking about those. We're talking about when you break up with a woman for being selfish, for cheating, for being disrespectful, for being disloyal, for having emotional affairs. Emotional affair is only a couple steps under an actual affair. Because who's to say what she would have done if this guy was right there, or if another guy who a suitable replacement for the guy that she had the emotional affair with was in front of her. And who's to say that she didn't do something with somebody somewhere? Dude, stop. Listen, man. If you gonna be into any other being, man, and I know that even the Most High himself is at times a mystery, like how he does things at times. But if we're gonna be into anyone, if we're gonna love anyone, it should be him. Guys should love the Most High with a fatherly love, a brotherly love, even though he's our father. Every kind of love there is, with the admiration that you have for a king. If you gonna be into somebody, it should be him. It should not be these women. Because like I tell y'all all the time, Eve was better than any of these women that will ever live, and look what she did. So, looking at Eve, that should tell you not to put too much confidence in any woman. Now, don't mistreat them. We men. There's no need to mistreat. Don't ever hit them. Now, I'm going to say this. If she try to help some other dude, then she fair game. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's the only situation. Or I just saw a video on Facebook where it was a bunch of younger people trying to jump this older man. And the girl was in the front with her guards up. When she started hitting him, she should have been fair game. Because he was beating all of them on the video. It's on Facebook. But a lot of the hits that they were getting off of him was because he didn't want to hit those girls. Those girls was in the front hitting on him. Y'all shouldn't be hitting on no dude if you don't want to get hit. That's all I'm going to say about it, you know. It's not as bad as somebody still having their channel telling black women to abort all their black sons. So, listen. You need to stop being delusional. And you need to be honest about your history. You need to be honest about your present. Because a lot of y'all women is causing guys to get into it because you're not being honest. You're not being honest. And you guys, you need to be honest too. If you're not monogamous, tell them that up front. Don't be so thirsty and greedy where you feel like you gotta lie to people. I thought I had game back in the 90s. But when I think about it, yeah, I was playing a lot of games. Lying to women and stuff like that. I would never lie to them, no. For what? It puts you at a disadvantage. Put you at a disadvantage. Because they, you know, I'm kind of watching out for these cars here. It's kind of busy over here. And you know, we in the state of Wisconsin, we don't have the top rated drivers here. So when I'm driving, making these videos, sometimes y'all gonna hear me pause, stuff like that. But these women, man, listen, are quite delusional. And delusional women follow pander bears. I already know all I gotta do. I told y'all what I'll be doing. I'll be coming in lives. And I don't even comment. Because to me, it just be confusion anyway. Be a bunch of people just throwing statements out there, most of which nobody respond to. So I'll just come in there and I'll read and I'll see what's going on. Do my little investigative work on some of these panda bears. I see a bunch of women in there like, yep, these the delusional ones. These the ones that I had choo-choos ran on them. They done had footlongs. They done did all type of debaucherous acts. And now they think that they deserve the best of us, which is quite delusional. That they deserve a monogamous relationship from the richest guy who's in the best bill of health. Delusional. They delusional. Delusional. And when I start my church, I could care less if they don't come. Because the only women I want in my church is the women who are already submitted to guys. One guy. And they either plan to marry this guy and be faithful and loyal to this guy with no emotional affairs. You know, they're not going to play cooch games. Because if he comes to me, I'm going to pull him right in the office and be like, you might want to go to one of these other guys' churches. Because here, the women are required to submit to their husbands 100%. And if you commit adultery, you won't be amongst our ranks. I already know I'm going to have all guys in my church and the women that follow them We're going to have some women there. We ain't going to have the delusional women there. They ain't going to be able to sit through my sermons. You know? So Isaiah 4:1 is coming to pass, man. Monogamy is dead. Y'all notice I used to say it's dying, it's dead. It's only alive in the mind of a delusional woman or a simp. In everybody else's mind, it's dead. It's dead. Now here's how it's gonna go. For you women, you ladies who want to find a man, you want a masculine man, you want an alpha male, you want this, that. Here's how it's gonna go. And guys, pay attention. You are going to have to create a sisterly bond with that man that you want to be with and all of his women. That's how it's going to go. Otherwise, you're going to have to find you a simp and continue on in your quest to break guys with alimony and child support. Because see, if you don't, let's say you become one of his wives. Let's say he elevates you from concubine to wife. And it's two of y'all that's his wife. That other woman, you should get along with her to the fullest. Because y'all have something in common. Y'all love the same man. And guess what all three of y'all should do? Y'all should put y'all money together. Put y'all resources together. As a family. Now, you don't do no sex acts with her. And I wouldn't advise you to even be in there when they getting it on. But think of how well you could do in life if you just get rid of your selfishness. You know, we're going to talk about it more. But that's what y'all need to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Keep tuning in for more videos. This is The Truth, man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel.